What is up, everyone? I have some very exciting news for you today. It seems we might finally be getting some form of an Oculus Quest competitor, and you'll see why I mean some form in just a little bit. So, without any further ado, let's jump straight into the news. I'm gonna jump straight into the biggest news story first, because I bet that's what a lot of you are here for. You guys know Nolo VR, the company that is behind the kind of weird full body tracking solutions for VR. The ones where you just kind of like put these orb-like controllers all over your body and they're sensed by a sensor. Yeah, that company. The company that also created that little device that you could put on any 3DOF headset and make it into a 6DOF one. Well, yesterday Nolo came out on Twitter and said they have just released the Nolo Sonic. And let me tell you, this is one interesting device. While currently we do not have any European or American website for it seems that this is all going to be in Chinese, we do have a spec sheet for it. I'm going to attempt to translate said spec sheet. It looks like the screen size resolution is 5.5 inches, and that is a single screen. And in that single screen, we're looking at a resolution of 4K, 3840 by 2160. We're looking at a refresh rate of 72 Hz, which is nowhere near the refresh rate of the Oculus Quest 2, and this is where the kind of competitor comes along. This is where it might not necessarily be a competitor, but it might for the people that are looking for a headset that doesn't require Facebook login. It has an FOV of 101 degrees, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 CPU clocked at 2.64 GHz at 8 cores, but here is where things start getting very interesting, because this is something I have not seen on a standalone headset to date. It has storage TF card expansion. That means it has a micro SD card slot. That is something that even flagship devices nowadays are missing. Yes, I am angry about it, because I have a lot of micro SD cards I could be using. It has 6 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage, expandable, maximum support up to 256 GB, a gravity sensor, a compass, a gyroscope, ultrasonic sensor, distance sensor, supports 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz, Bluetooth 5.0 support, supports USB 3.1 power input data transmission, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and a 4500 mAh battery. So as you can see there, it's a pretty interesting headset to look at. But when looking at these specs and comparing them to the Oculus Quest 2, you may be thinking to yourself, what could the price for this headset possibly be? Translating the currency that we get on the website, I get about €250 or $300. So yes, it is a competitor to the Oculus Quest. It is a competitor in both price and almost specs, with that 4K screen, the FOV, and then the kind of sad refresh rate. And unfortunately, it also falls short in the CPU department comparing that to the XR2. It also seems to only have 2 cameras at the very front, which means I don't know how that would work with games that require you to put the controllers to the side. However, it does seem that those cameras might only be used for pass-through, not for actually tracking the controllers, since both the controllers and the headset have these weird dot-like things all over it that I haven't managed to figure out what they are from the translations of the website. I'm sure somebody smarter than me will be able to tell me down in the comments section below, but I'm pretty sure that those have something to do with tracking, so it might not actually be an issue. The headset does also support completely wireless SteamVR streaming, just like the Oculus Quest, and an optical cable seems to be coming out sometime in the future, so very similar features there. It does seem like a pretty interesting headset, and has some pretty unique features. For example, it seems to have some form of a heart rate monitor built in to the controller, which when put up to your heart, it will read your BPM. That's pretty unique. However, it does also seem to have a lot of copied features from the Quest 2. It doesn't seem like a perfect solution, but what I'm trying to get at here is, yes, it is out, and yes, more headsets like this are coming out. It's very, very exciting to see that more companies are releasing these for an affordable price, because that is an affordable price. And looking at their website, it seems you are perfectly able to play games such as Beat Saber. Looking at their Twitter replies, it seems it's running Android. It's very exciting, and I cannot wait to see more and more headsets coming out like this. Who knows, maybe we'll even get one of these to review. I would be really willing to check this out to see how those cameras occlude the controllers on the sides. Probably a bunch of sensors and a bunch of AI work. But let me know what you think about it down below. Are you interested? Would you look into it? Or are the specs just not good enough for you? Again, let me know down below. SteamVR just got another pretty big update. And while this might not be a big update for some of you, it's a pretty big update for any of us that use VR for productivity. SteamVR 1.17 lets you pin windows to your controllers, adds field of view options and world scale sliders, and fixes more than a dozen bugs, finally. Now, the pinning windows option was actually in SteamVR beta for quite a while now, except I always had issues when trying to use it while live streaming. I don't know why, it just disappeared every time I started a live stream, you know, just to annoy me on purpose. Finally, it's out officially. This update is the culmination of months of beta releases. The previous stable version shipped back in February. It's been a while, guys, but finally we've received something that is going to not only do bug fixes, but also add a bunch of features that we have been waiting for. Docking individual windows was already possible with third-party extensions like OVR Toolkit, which is actually what I ended up using for pretty much every live stream. However, it is nice to have that native. A new field of view setting lets you trade off between immersion and visual fidelity, you know, depending on your GPU quality there. A new override world scale setting adjusts perceived scale of the virtual world. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't know if that could be used for hacking in any way, shape, or form. I hope it doesn't like ruin gameplay for some people. Both of these sliders are set per application, which is cool. Facebook's Oculus Rift platform hasn't seen a feature update in almost 2 years as the company shifts its focus to standalone VR. Well, what a roast there by Upload VR towards the very end, towards pretty much anybody that still has a Rift device. I mean, to be fair though, the Rift CV1, I have heard, still works very, very well from people. Oh yeah, Facebook is building a reality OS. They want to make a reality operating system more than just what we have on the Quest now. With them releasing things such as smart glasses, with them diving into that AR, XR space a lot more, they want to release something that is going to be immersive. They want to release something that is going to feel natural. And I mean, props to them. They're pushing the market forward. And I feel like as long as they don't start pushing ads on you while you're walking down the street, people won't actually have too much issues with it. I mean, sure, people do have issues with Facebook login, but currently, let's be honest, they haven't started pushing ads on us just yet. I mean, unless they have in the Facebook app, but I uninstalled that, so yeah, no. They are trying to build something that is just going to feel natural, with the flick of a wrist, using their EMG armbands, using things they are developing in the background. They want to make something that is going to connect the two realities together. And again, props to them. That sounds like the Matrix. That sounds like something that is going to be absolutely amazing once done correctly. However, in this article, they also talk about them wanting to build as little as possible. They talk about being open source. They say Facebook was built on mostly open source. And this is where I just kind of went, eh? Because while they pride themselves in this article about using Android, their Android is like the most locked down version of Android I have ever seen. Like, seriously, people have been trying to root this thing for a while now and they have been unsuccessful. I literally had more luck helping people root their phones on our Discord over voice chat than anyone has had rooting the Oculus Quest. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. You cannot pride yourself in being open source. I don't care how many of your devices use Android, your Facebook portal, your Oculus Quest. That doesn't make it open source. Yeah, you can take Android is open source, but then you can make it not open source. Like, you have made the most closed down OS, and the TOS you have pretty much prohibits a bunch of things that, well, I don't think should be prohibited. For example, connecting to a cloud PC from your store. I don't think that's being open source. Prohibiting installing third-party app stores. I don't think that's being open source. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I disagree with this. My little rant there. That's that, guys. We can start looking forward to seeing an operating system that is going to kind of interconnect our two realities, which does sound, again, fantastic and amazing. However, don't think it's going to be open source. Unless it is, then props to you, Facebook. Go on ahead. I would love this to be open source. However, they do also talk about wanting to build as little as possible. This seems to be for the sake of minimalism and putting as little stress on the silicone on your face as much as possible, because there is only so much heat something strapped onto your face can take without burning your face. And I don't know how good this operating system is going to be for VR, especially if it becomes so minimalistic, it's too minimalistic. And especially since I don't think it's going to be open source, so I don't think we're going to be able to change anything about it if it is too minimalistic. Oh, here's one for all you Sniper Elite fans. Sniper Elite VR releases July 8th for Quest, PSVR, and SteamVR. So another title that is coming out on pretty much every gaming platform ever, even PSVR, which is good to see. Again, now with the update to the PSVR headset, that is going to be needed. We need more games coming out for PSVR. I'm very excited for it. You'll play as an Italian partisan fighting fascism in a powerful World War II story told through his harrowing memories as you protect your fellow countrymen and drive back the merciless invaders. So if that kind of sounds like your piece of cake, you can start looking forward to that coming out on July 8th. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be interested in it. A lot of people seem to be interested in kind of gun emulation games in VR. I mean, it seems to be quite popular. I can't say I'm too much into that. I do play myself a little bit of Population 1, but like, I don't know. Everybody has their different piece of cake, you know? Oh yeah, and Facebook also seems to be able to solve the problem of Zoom fatigue. So this one is by VR Scout. Could Facebook's AR video calls solve Zoom fatigue? So when I first read this, I thought it was something completely different, but turns out it is something completely different overall. So spice up your video calls with AR games and party hats. I thought this already existed in Messenger. So basically with the current global situation right now, forcing a lot of us into Zoom calls, forcing a lot of us to work from home, forcing pretty much everything to happen online, Facebook is trying to spice things up with AR party games. Now, I had a different idea, and I thought it was much cooler, but I guess not. So basically what this is, I think we've seen this before. It pretty much just allows you to do party games, just gives you kind of like AR party hats, AR accessories to you. I swear this existed, even though I could be wrong. I thought it existed. Either way, my idea was much cooler, guys. My idea was you put your phone up, and you can see AR people there in the room with you, on supported devices, of course, with like AR Kit and AR Core. I thought AR avatars would look much cooler. And then you could also add spatial audio to that, you know? I thought that was definitely, I still think that's a much better option. So that way you could almost feel like presence, you know? You could feel people in presence with you in your room. Because on your phone, you could just like lift your phone up and it would be in color, you know? It's not pass-through, sure, it's not VR, it's not as good, but it is still some form of a presence, like you can see the person there in your room. Even though it would probably be an animated character as well, but still, it's some form of a presence. My idea was better. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all have a fantastic day or night. Please let me know what you think about our topics today down below. I love to hear your guys' opinions. A little bit of an announcement just here towards the end. Yesterday, I asked you guys on the Discord and on YouTube what you guys think about dedicating one day of the week towards tech. I'm a huge nerd, and sometimes I feel I really would love to talk to you guys about tech for at least one day. Like, if I find something cool and I want to tell you guys about it, you know, I want to share the news. And you guys reacted overwhelmingly positively, and I was so happy about that. I was so happy to be able to share my nerdism with you guys. So I was thinking Tech Fridays, we dedicate Fridays to tech, and I could either dedicate the day to tech or record VR news and tech, even though that could strain me. I know that could strain me, but I could try it. Don't worry, VR videos are not going anywhere whatsoever. Absolutely not. And we are still doing daily VR videos. I was just thinking that one day of the week, you know, we have 7 days a week, could be dedicated towards tech. And people seem to agree. People were saying Tech Tuesday has a nice ring to it. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Do you like the idea? Also, can I just say a huge thank you to anybody who commented yesterday? It just means so much to me to see the community interacting with the channel and seeing you guys give me your thoughts and your opinions on things. And once again, do not worry. I don't want this message to be misinterpreted. VR is not going anywhere whatsoever. You don't need to be worried. We're still continuing our VR content. Again, sometimes I just have a piece of tech in my hands and I'm like, oh, this would be so cool to share with people. And a few people asked, why not create a secondary channel for that? You know, a channel dedicated to tech. Well, there's two reasons for that. Firstly, I'm all alone on this. Having one channel is already very difficult. And secondly, we already have a nice large community built up here. And judging by the reaction I got yesterday, a lot of you are also interested in tech. So why not have those two communities come together? I don't know, just seems like a good idea to me. Plus, like a lot of people said, not every month is going to have every day filled up with VR news. So let's say one day there's a little bit of less VR news. That day I could record a tech video. Plus other people said as well, it could broaden my view on virtual reality as well, you know, kind of opening up the market to more people to come in. But that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please leave a like. If you guys disliked it, I guess this button works too, but please tell me why down in the comment section below. If you guys would like to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, we've got sick merch down below. Don't put a huge on your body, and mugs that boost your FPS by 300%. If you guys are not yet part of our community, make sure to join our Discord down below. Make sure to join our Reddit, where I want to see you posting your spice memes. And if you guys want to be notified about your content coming up on the channel daily, make sure to smack the subscribe button with you forwarding my bell into the next video. Peace.